Good morning, boys and girls. It's story time at Spanish Fort Library, but we're here at Miss Mary's Cupcake's Corgi Cottage, and look at Cupcake. Look at how she is so dressed up. Look at that. She has on her party dress. Do you know why? She went to a birthday party. Yes, she did, and she had so much fun. She got to see all the presents get opened, and one of the presents was a car that was made for the dolls that were at the party, and Cupcake fit inside that little car, and she got to ride in that car with the dolls, and she thought that was so much fun. They had a water slide too, but Cupcake didn't go down the water slide. You would get all wet, wouldn't you, Cupcake? Yes, she's having trouble keeping her hat on. Now, it's August, and some of you might have birthdays, so I thought maybe Cupcake would help me sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Woo, woo. Happy birthday to you. Woo, woo. Happy birthday. All the people with August birthdays, happy birthday to you. So I hope you have a happy birthday, and I have a good story for you today. Some of you may have heard of this author. Her name is Margaret Wise Brown, and she wrote a famous story called Goodnight Moon. But she also wrote this story about two little trains. And that's the story I'm going to read to you today. And the pictures are by Greg Pizzoli. But do you like trains? I love trains. I like to ride on trains whenever I can. I know we don't have too many trains around here, but I bet some of you may have ridden on a train before. So let's open up the story and see those two little trains again. Can you tell they're different? They are. We're going to hear why they are different and what they are. So let's turn the page. Here's Two Little Trains. Story by Margaret Wise Brown, and pictures by Greg Pizzoli by Harper Publishers. Two little trains went down the track. Two little trains went west. Do you see them? Puff, puff, puff. Chug, chug, chug. Two little trains to the west. One little train was a streamlined train, puff, puff, puff to the west. So this is the streamlined train, you see? It's kind of a more modern looking train, isn't it? Puff, puff, puff. One little train was an old train, chug, 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 going west. An old locomotive. Do you see that? And where are they going? They're going west. Look down, that long steel track. Look at that track, how long it is. Here, go round and around. There's the streamlined train. And follow the track. And there is that locomotive. And where are they going? They're going west. That long steel track to the west. Two little trains came to a hill. Puff, chug. With a puff and a chug, they went right through under the hill to the west. Look, you see them going? They're going under the hill? What is that called? What's that called when there's a hole in the hill like that and you go through it? Look, it's a tunnel. Oh, and they're in that tunnel now. Do you see that? Look through that long, dark hill. They're inside that hill in a tunnel, but they can see the light. And here they come. Puff, puff, puff. That long, dark hill to the west. Now they're coming down the hill. Chug, chug, chug. And do you see the other train? They're both coming out of the tunnel and down that hill. And where are they going? They're going to the west. Do you hear that thunder? There's a storm coming. I hear it. It's pretty far away, so I think we'll be able to finish our story before it gets here. Two little trains came to a river. Oh, see the river? They came to a river going west. Uh-oh, if they come to a river, what will they need to be able to cross that river? Not a tunnel. Well, I guess they could go through a tunnel, but I think it's going to be something different. They went over the river to the west. Do you see that? Puff, puff, puff. Chug, chug, chug. Can you make that noise? Puff, puff, puff. Chug, chug, chug. Can you sound like a train? There they go, over the river to the west. Look down, look down. Below the bridge, that's what they crossed the river on. Below the bridge at the deep, dark river going west. And there's the streamlined locomotive. Puff, puff, puff. That's what that one says. And what does this train say? Chug, chug, chug. He's the locomotive, and they're crossing the river on that bridge. And I see the sun. Can you see the sun shining? And some birds in the air. Uh-oh. You hear the thunder here, and it looks like they must have been hearing thunder because it looks like a storm. The rain came down on the two little trains going west, and it made them darker and wet and shiny as they went on their way to the west. Do you see the lightning coming out of that dark cloud? I think we'll be inside, and I'll be through reading that story before that happens here. But there is a storm coming. Oh no! The rain is gone, but what is happening? The snow came down now, and it covered the ground, and the two little trains going west, and they got white and furry, and still in a hurry, they puffed and chugged to the west. That snow didn't stop them, did it? The river didn't stop them. That hill didn't stop them. They are determined to make it where? To the west. That's where they're going. The moon shone down on a gleaming track. See the moon? And the two little trains going west, and they hurried along and heard the song of an old man singing in the west. See that? There he is. He's fishing, and he's singing a song, and they can hear it as they're going by. And the moon's shining down. Oh, look down, that long steel track where you and I must go, that long steel track and strong crossbars before we travel home. Whew, they are having a long train ride to make it to the west, and the west is pretty far away. The wind, it blew, and the dust, it flew around the two little trains going west. Do you see those dust storms? But the dust storm drew not a toot or a hoo or a whistle from the trains going west. Those dust storms did not stop those trains. They kept puffing and chugging. Where are they going? To the west. That's right. Then the mountains came beyond the plains, and the trains started climbing west. Now they've got some really high mountains they have to climb. But that won't stop them. They're going up those hills. Chug, 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 puff, puff, puff. I can almost hear them, can't you? And look, I see horses. Those horses? See that? Look at that. Up and around and over and through the great high mountains to the west. There they go. Can you see both the trains? Here's the streamlined one, and here's the locomotive. And they're going to the west. The ocean was big and the ocean was blue beyond the land in the west. Oh, look at that. There's an ocean. When you go all the way out west, there's a big blue ocean. Do you know the name of that ocean? That's the Pacific Ocean. Look, and I think I see a whale in that ocean, along with all those fish. That's beyond the land in the west. And the little train stopped. Their trip was through. They had made it, didn't they? They made it all the way to the west. They had come to the edge of the west. They had come to the ocean. Look at that. And they're home, and the sun looks like it's going down, and I bet they're glad that they made it all the way to the west. Did you like that story? I did. I think that was a good train story. Now, this week on Sunday, some of you might have seen there was a space dragon, the SpaceX Dragon. It was a spaceship that returned to Earth. It had 2 astronauts on it. And you know what? When they slowed that down, they made a parachute. They had parachutes that slowed that spaceship down when it landed in the Gulf of Mexico, not far from us. And so I thought you might like to make a parachute. And you know how you can make a parachute? This is a coffee filter. So you could ask maybe somebody at your house if they know if you have a coffee filter. If not, you can get a whole pack of them in the grocery store, and they don't cost very much money. But I took this, look at the wind is already picking up my parachute. I took that coffee filter and I colored mine to look like the ones that brought down the SpaceX Dragon. I made it red and white, and I put USA on it, and then I punched 2 holes on either side here so I could tie my string, and I punched those holes with a toothpick. And then you might have to have somebody help you with the knots. I tried to find, it said to put a little toy. Well, I'm making little felt animals, and I have this little chicken, and so you want a little toy that's light. So this was pretty light. So here goes my chicken. Let's see if we can get her to fly. I'm going to see if we can toss it up. Whoop. Oh, it is. It's flying down. Oh, it flew off the table. You didn't get to see that. I don't know if I can have you see this or not. Let me see. I'm going to try to do it over here so you can maybe see it fly. Oh, there it goes. Oh, my goodness. So you might want to try to make a parachute, and then you can, if you have a porch or something you can toss it off of, you can watch it fly. That might be a fun thing to do today. So I hope all of you enjoyed the stories today. And Cupcake was so glad to see you. And she is hoping you'll come back next Wednesday for story time. Don't you, Cupcake? Woof, woof. Yep. You're having trouble with that hat. Keeping that hat on today. So bye-bye, boys and girls. See you next Wednesday.